Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is DeadAction Jones. I am joined by Joe Zombie, and this is the Still Standing Podcast. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am
Gonna
great.
adjust here for a second.
You're good. I am great.
I would like to not be swallowed by my chair. I think that's my first stage here.
I understand. And then until you evolve and you are like a slow bro and you just fuse with the chair. And then
I'm sure there are people in my life who think that's exactly what's going to happen one day.
Yeah, it's possible. Who knows? It has been a week since we have discussed on the podcast. What do you know? We made it another week.
Yeah, we're still standing after another week of this.
It's true. We've almost made it a month, which is like a big first stepping stone. Like, it doesn't feel like it's been that, but hey, we're almost there.
We're going to celebrate our month anniversary like we're in high school.
Yes, we're going to hold hands and we're going to do a month anniversary.
I'm sorry, but I don't have a card for that.
I'm sure we can find one.
I hope those don't exist.
I'm sure we can find one.
Pretty sure they do.
Here's a card. You know what? Hey, here's to us.
Weird space Coke.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink a space Coke in space. Yeah, they're not paying for this, but everyone else is trying it this week, so I figured I would try one.
Yeah, why not?
I will tell you this: I've tried it before this. I do like it. It tastes like Fruit Loops and cotton candy, but that's what I'm gonna say.
Tastes like butterscotch to me, so I don't know if whose tongue is broken. Probably mine.
Probably yours, but it does, like, it legit tastes like Fruit Loops with like the accents of cotton candy on the back end of the taste, which is crazy. 1 second.
Get a hair adjustment here.
There we go. I'm good. So it has been the craziest of weeks for video games. I have literally been gorging myself on all of the things, just like
it has been a buffet, to be sure.
Like absolutely.
We could play Chubby Bunny with all the video games we've been playing all at once.
So Chubby Bunny, what have you been playing?
Oh God. Let's see. Played mostly Elden Ring and still just powering through that, even though I feel like I've gone nowhere at all. At the same time. I constantly feel like I'm going back to the very first area. I mean, like, I haven't done like a third of the things apparently that I should have done while I was here. I guess I need to get like one of those checklists and be like, okay, done that. All right, on to the next area, done that.
I did actually do one of those for the very first zone for Limgrave. I did actually go down the boss checklist after a point because there was like 12 I missed, and I was like, apparently I walked right past these places and had no idea they were here, because a lot of those things are actually closed until you I didn't know at first. When I first started the game, I just started finding these weird like hunched over statues, and I was talking to them because it would light up candles, but on launch day they were not shooting a blue laser out of them to the area that they're opening. So I was just activating them, and then the next day I logged in, they were magically shooting blue lasers out of them when I ran past. I was like, what is that blue laser? So I followed it, and it led me to a dungeon that apparently was locked that I opened by finding that statue. I had no idea, but that was cool.
I've literally had... I think you showed me a cave that I was like, I know I'd seen this on a different part, but I don't remember where it was. And you're like, oh yeah, just take a left over by like literally the first steps, and it's like 10 feet that way. I'm like, I missed that all day. It was like that beast cave with all the wolves in it.
Yeah, you literally, where you find it, and it's kind of crazy. If you actually follow, they put a breadcrumb trail leading to that dungeon. Like, you literally there's the guy walking in the woods with the torch, and then there's, to the left of him is a guy leaned over some wreckage of like a destroyed cart. You kill him, you look to the left of him, there's another guard over there that's investigating some other rubble. You defeat him, and then you look in front of you like 10 feet and there's a cave entrance. Like, the breadcrumb trail to that tutorial cave is crazy. And so like, or I say tutorial cave, but it's like the tutorial dungeon. It's not the
then
first
I was like level 65 when I finally when you showed it to me. I'm like,
and you just walked in there and you were just like, wolves. The wolves are dead. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I love going back to earlier areas and just like two-shotting everything.
Yeah, you were like Rodon, just murdering everybody on your horse.
Talk about something that took hours of my life.
I have literally figured out, finally, I know we've talked about this, I've figured out where the Rainbow Pajama Man is.
Yeah, he's in Rodon. He's at the festival.
I had no idea. When we talked about it last, I didn't know. I have still not done the festival. But that man,
spoil it for you.
I get it, but that man is sitting in a chair in front of the door, and he says, you've made it all the way here. That's wonderful. I'm old, and this festival hasn't started yet, so come back later. And you're like, I made it to the boss, and there's no boss. What the fuck is this? So I guess I'll just come back later. I don't know. Whatever.
No, you literally go to a dude who's like parked up like the stairs near like the ramparts, like past all the people you can talk to, and you talk to him and he's like, do you want to start the festival? And you're like, absolutely, I'm totally ready for this.
There's nobody there gathered for the festival. None of the heroes are gathered. If we go into my game right now, it will be the whole area where the feast is empty, and you go all the way back to the back, and the dude in the rainbow pajamas is sitting there in a chair saying, I'm old and the festival's not starting yet.
Okay.
He literally says, come back later. And I was like, I killed so many bosses and ran through so much shit to get here, and you don't even have a boss for me?
I never killed those two bosses that are in that room originally.
I killed them.
They just like weren't there one day, and I'm like, oh, and they're like, do you want to start the festival? I'm like, there's a festival?
I literally went in there with my brother because he wanted to kill him on his new character because he re-rolled, because of course he did. Yeah. And I went in there and threw the moon at the lizard boss, and the lizard boss died immediately. Just does not like the moon, apparently. I threw the moon at him twice and he was dead.
Moon magic.
And then the generic knight with wings that shows up does not like the moon at all. You hit him with the moon and it pisses him off. It just doesn't do any damage. But my brother brought fire magic, so he just melted him in like 3 seconds. So like, lizards don't like the moon. The night guy hates armor or hates fire. Just burns. Goblins,
which is weird,
like
given
fire.
that he's got like weird dragon parts that come off of him randomly. So whatever.
Really, he has dragon abilities, but fire fucks him up. So we did that boss, and I walked through there, and it was an empty castle, and I was like, I fucking hate this. So I left. I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring. You and I did some shenanigans in GTA Online yesterday. Some of those are in a video. That video is up, and the ending goes places that I was not expecting, and it is so good. That was a fun video to shoot because we were literally like, it's GTA. It's still a great game. It looks better. I don't know what to do other than talk about what it is, and we're just going to drive and show off the cars and the lighting and stuff. And so we did. And we didn't want to get into a mission or anything because it's like, just show off the game, because it's like you're showing off, it's updated everything, and we show the load times when we do that stuff. But you go watch the
skybox as much in missions. The lighting doesn't change as much.
Right.
Can't see my cool paint.
Right. So we did that. Very excited about that. I will be playing more of that because I've been playing a lot of that. That game feels like a whole new game with all the load time differences. It is crazy.
Yeah, because I'm not looking at the sky for minutes.
Also, them actually adding actual loading screens into the game is an incredible change. Like, you don't have to look, because they're selling that version that's just GTA Online by itself. Mm-hmm. And so with that, you don't have to buy the story mode, so you don't have to go into the sky to swap characters. You just do the thing and you show up. So like loading in, you see some, instead of staring at when you see it alternate through different loading screens, it feels like it takes less time and you're less bored because you have new things to stimulate you visually, versus just sitting in the sky for probably a shorter amount of time, but maybe longer, and then you're just staring into the clouds, just this nameless amorphous cloud forever. And it's just
nothing.
Yeah. Also, they added new updates for that game. They've already started adding new generation exclusive content. The house stuff, they added a whole new mod shop to the car stuff that you'd have to do a time trial race to unlock. And then there's a certain list of cars that are qualified to get that. I've not done that time trial yet. I've tried it once and I was like 10 seconds under the time because I was like super rusty. It was the first time I'd played since like Valentine's Day. I went back in and was like, damn, and I missed it by like 10 seconds and I got really sad, and I was like, well, I'll try it again later, but that's an 8-minute race, so I don't want to do that again back to back.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's a time commitment.
Yeah, we actually
I know
played.
8 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but in video games, it's a lot. I can do a lot of things in 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's a third of a run of Vampire Survivors. That speaking of which,
that's a boss fight in Aladin Ring.
Vampire Survivors. What a game. So good. Still playing that. Still chipping away at Final Fantasy 14 somewhat here and there. Like, I still love that game, but there's been so much stuff that it's kind of been sitting on the back burner because of all the new stuff that's been coming out for like us needing to review and talk about and stuff like that, right? Coverage and stuff. So whatever.
Yeah. That won't change.
No.
Still more stuff coming out.
It looks like we are in the long haul for that. I've been playing. We played through on GTA. We actually last night we finally got around to playing through that co-op story mode they put in with Lamar and Franklin, which was hilarious, and it was all very fun until the very final mission where there's a certain fight that involves a sniper rifle. That's all I'm gonna say, and it is not fun.
And I ate most of my snacks. You cannot put body armor
on. You can't wear body armor as those characters, and we were literally trying our hardest to do that
behind a fucking barrier. Like,
that one particular fight took us maybe 15, 20 tries to do that one fight. It was very hard on normal, and they have a hard difficulty that unlocks after you do it. I cannot imagine.
A lot of people would be like, I don't know, just be good, stupid. Just shoot them.
Yeah, I'm over here with a high-powered sniper rifle just taking people out with each shot, and they're just like, there's 100 of them. It doesn't matter. There's so many people of every variety. And WWE 2K 2022, I have been playing a ton of because guess what?
I still have not touched.
Because guess what? That game is really good. It's really fun. If you watched our video of that, if you watched our hands-on of that, you saw that at one point I gave up trying to preview it. I just got lost in having fun. During the Xavier Woods Macho Man match that we did for that video, I was just having fun. I eventually just started just giggling to myself while I'm just like, boom. Slam. Like, I'm just like having fun.
Sadly, it's one of my favorite matches that I only got to hear basically over radio play in chat. I fortunately wasn't recorded. It was you in that ladder match
when you were
like an hour and a half.
When you were, it was in the My Rise mode. No, not My Rise. It was in the My Faction mode. Was a 6-way. No, it was not another of those. Actually, it was the. It was WWE Universe. I was Lana. I was playing as Lana in the WWE My Universe mode or whatever the fuck it's called. And I was doing a Survivor Series, Money in the Bank pay-per-view match, 6-way woman ladder match to get to the Money in the Bank chest, and it lasted an hour. And I got so much money
I don't think
and
a person
stuff
who spent
out of
that much time unconscious has ever won a match.
Cool. Well,
every time I'm unconscious again. Yeah, just throwing me out of the ring.
It was wild, man.
You either spent your time like asleep or out of the ring.
I kept getting thrown out of the ring. They would just grab you and just Irish whip you out of the ring, and then they would try to go set up a ladder, and then one of the other NPCs would walk over and shove the ladder over, or another NPC would crawl up the other side of the ladder and then suplex you off the ladder. And so everybody just had like no health. Everybody's just brutally murdered. And so I just kind of eventually got to the point where I just like stayed away from everybody and was just trying to regain what little health that I had left. And I let one of the other NPC characters keep climbing up there to slowly unhook the thing because they kept getting pushed off and getting hurt. Or if someone pushes the ladder off when you're hanging on the thing, then someone can walk up and grab you and suplex you off of the briefcase that you're dangling from, which also jacks you up. So eventually I let them do it to where they almost released it, and then I pushed the ladder over, grabbed them, suplexed them, and then I put the ladder back up, climbed up there, and then grabbed it, unhooked the last thing, and was like, yeah, I did
it! Of attrition, you are.
Yeah. I was having fun the whole time, but I could not stop laughing because I was just getting Irish whipped out of the ring constantly. And then I actually took a clip of this from this match. I may put it on Twitter, but there was a video where I forget what her name. It was like Balzar, whatever her name is. I forget her name off the top of my head. I'm sorry, but I think that's her. I think that's her last name. Actually, that's not a joke. I think that's actually her last name. It's like Bowser, something like that. But it's like Shayna. It's like Shayna Bowser. But anyway, the Queen of Spades woman is her like title or whatever. But she literally climbs on top of me and does a slappity-doo dance in a circle like she's breakdancing on top of me, and then slaps me in the back of the head. And that was her, like, finishing move that she did. And I was just like, I think she's my dad now. Like,
I've seen that clip. It doesn't necessarily look like she's doing it. It looks like she just keeps adjusting position, like she doesn't know where to get at you first.
She's literally spinning around me like this. Like she's like
gives up on it and then gets up and then like slaps you. It's like
she's basically like doing the Homer in a circle on top of me and then slaps me in the back of the head. And I'm just like, sure, I guess you're my dad now. What am I grounded? I don't know. Rune Factory is next week, right? Yes, Rune Factory. Oh man, so excited about that. Oh my god, are you kidding me? That's one of my most anticipated things. I've been waiting for Rune Factory 5 for so long. I'm so excited. I have been what else have I been playing? We played GTA. I have not touched Destiny 2 because everything else has been out. Destiny 2 is in the best place it has ever been. Do not get me wrong. I still love that game.
It's so Sea of Thieves, but I haven't been able to touch that either.
I have not touched the new season. I have not touched
Spanish forts.
I have not touched the new season of Sea of Thieves, but I'm very excited about it. It looks very, very good. I have not touched either one of those things. I have touched WWE. I have touched GTA. I have touched Elden Ring. I have touched Vampire Survivors, and I've done a little bit of Final Fantasy 14 because they brought in the little ladies' day, which is like the fashion event where you like help a woman prepare for like a runway fashion thing, and then like I don't know, there's screenshots of my character wearing a tuxedo looking dapper as fuck. But when you complete that event, you get like a transmog of like a little tiny crown that sits like catty corner on your head. It's very cute. It looks like the King Moogle crown. But it's even like
time left. I would probably play some Final Fantasy 14 at some point, but at this point,
I get it because the
lineup is strong right now.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
many other things
absolutely
that I'm getting through right now, and I feel like I should just beat Elden Ring, like in the next couple days, and then like start New Game Plus, and like that'll be my for real playthrough. But at the same time, I'm like, but I want to do the stuff.
I feel like I should do that too. Like, really? I feel like I should do that because I feel like after a certain point, like, you're going to want the extra souls from beating the harder difficulty, right? Because, like, imagine how much that souls grind is going to be when you get to another playthrough.
As someone who is, like, a level 165, I think, in that game.
I'm not. I'm like...
It takes me, like, 160k to level up once.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm to the point where
you don't want to like carry that many runes because then like something kills you and you're like, I have to go back for this. There's no choice.
But also I guess because I'm an old school Souls player, so like yes, I want my souls. Yes, I'll go back for them. But if I'm in an area where like say it takes me 50k to level up and there's 30k souls, I'm not worried about those anymore. Those are theirs. If I can't get back to them, I don't care. I will literally leave that there. It'll leave that marker there, and I will go to a completely different dungeon and just say, those will be there, and if I come back for them someday, that's fine, and then I'll die, and I'll totally forget about them, and then I don't feel bad about it anymore.
It's just hard for me to do that because it just taunt me. I'm like,
I get it.
Back.
I played the tiniest bit of Legends Arceus. That game is still real good, y'all. But there's just so much stuff. I logged in and went, wow, there's outbreaks of crazy stuff because that's the new update they brought out, right? With all the crazy outbreaks and stuff like that.
Have you actually beaten the story for that game yet?
I thought I did. But I think there's more story, like not from the update, but I think there's just like I thought that like stopping the timeline thing was going to be the thing, but I don't think it is. I think there's still more that I'm like having to go around, and now they're like giving me missions to go catch all the legendaries because I guess maybe that'll help with something. I don't know, but
the Monster Hunter Rise DLC comes out soon.
Monster Hunter Rise DLC comes out. Yeah, I know, and the Tiny Tina's comes out. We'll probably play that. I'm hoping that game is more fun to play than Borderlands 3 because Borderlands 3 I only played through for the story and I only played through with you, and then the moment we finished it I uninstalled it because I was not having fun because none of the Vault Hunters were fun to me in that game. None of them were fun. Awesome. Sure, okay, yes, great. Yeah, she was a Titanfall woman. I understand why you like her, but I'm just saying like in the way that we like to vary up the play style. We like to play different characters, right? Sure. Because it makes sense to have a variety of different things. I played as Zane. because Zane looked like he was going to be closest to the Handsome Jack body double, which I really liked in the pre-sequel. But I also thought I would like to play as the Hunter guy, but the Hunter guy was actually like the Hunter non-binary robot. Sorry. Whatever. My apologies.
Flack.
Yes, Flack. I forgot the name, but I was also like trying not to misgender a robot. Sorry, me. Me apologize.
We keep it PC here.
Yes. I just was not having fun with that game. Like I remember stopping at one point before we even finished the story and just going, I don't even care if I finish the story. I'm just not having fun. Like, because like I think you had finished the story and I was still not done with the story, and then I ended up re-downloading it so we could finish the story. And I don't think we finished the DLC in that game either. Like
I haven't even finished the DLC because, as we literally have been talking about for the past 20 minutes, other things keep coming up.
Other things keep coming up that are of higher quality. Like, the only good thing about that Borderlands DLC was Handsome Jack is really funny in that one DLC, and Digby Vermouth is in it. And other than that, the rest of it is
the Handsome Jackpot DLC.
Yeah, that was a good DLC. We did play through that one, but like I didn't play through the Cthulhu Love Marriage one. I didn't play through that one. I don't even remember what the other ones are. I just don't.
There's the Love and Tentacles one. There's the Wild West one. I think it's called like Blood and Sand or something like that.
I think that's a 50-cent game.
That's Blood on the Sand, but it's something like that. And then there's the Krieg one where you the Fuster Clock or whatever, the one where you go in Krieg's brain. But I started the Western one and I was playing through that, and then other stuff came up and I haven't even touched the Krieg one, which I think is supposed to be the best one. Maybe one day I'll go back and play it and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. You have to play it.
I feel like at this point, with a new one on the way, there's no point in going back at this point because they're going to dump all, it's just like, I feel like I could never go back to Borderlands 1, ever. That game does not play good. That game does not hold up at all.
I tried when the HD one came out.
Holy shit, Borderlands 1 does not hold up.
I was like, I want to play as Roland, and then I got in that game, and I'm like, there's nothing here. Yeah. It's just barren wasteland as far as the eye can see.
It is barren wasteland corridors.
Yeah.
It's not even like open world. It's like just corridors. It's like very confined corridors that like dogs jump out of holes in the ground. And like I got to TK Baja, which is like the beginning of the game, and I was like, I'm fucking out. This does not hold up at all. I'm out.
Because I had the rose-colored glasses, especially for like the DLCs and stuff.
Sure,
like, I can't do this. It's not so much of this. The UI is not good. It's like
everything feels clunky as hell. Like it just does not feel good.
Roland, I love you, man, and I miss you, but I can't do this.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, oh, Mordecai, I'll go do that. Or, I'll go play Brick as this punch people to death. No, I won't. I'll never do that. It is 3:16, by the way. You know what that means, right?
That Stone Cold said so?
Yeah. Exactly. The man that no one can sound like because he always sounds like he's yawning. I just wanted to, since we were talking about WWE, I just wanted to point out that it was 3:16. You're welcome. Speaking of 3:16, I don't think we've played anything else, have we?
No.
Okay, speaking of 3:16,
not that's worth talking about. I've played some mobile games, but that's just like to pass the time.
I tried to download WWE Supercard because it was a WWE game that they seem to be pushing really, really hard, and I downloaded it. No, it did not have fun. It was not fun. It was a cool concept. You get cards of characters, of wrestlers, and you put them in the ring, and then they the cards with their pictures on them literally wrestle each other. So it's literally a card gets in the ring, and a card gets in the ring, and one will suplex the other, and it's so ridiculous. But it's not a bad game. It's just I don't know what's going on. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's like, oh, pick these characters. Like, all right, cool. So, like, Hulk Hogan has, like, 2 million in every stat. And I'm like, all right, I'll play Hulk Hogan all the time. They're like, you can't. You can only play him once a tournament. I'm like, okay, play somebody else. I'm like, all right, play this person. They're like, well, this person has this card, and they have 2 million in every stat, and you have 1,000. And I'm like, great. I'm sorry not everyone can be as strong as Hulk Hogan. Please forgive me. And then I lose every match I play because I don't know how to play that game. But I did try it because, I was like, sure, why not? But what I was going to segue into was because of it being 3:16, 3:17, Casey's mod comes out for Inscription, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been talking about we may do a series for Inscription.
I've never really seen the game. He's never seen it, and it's one of my favorite games of all time.
Jonesy's always looking for an excuse to play it, I think.
I literally erased my save file so that I could start over fresh so that we could do this.
You did it in front of me. You're like, I will do it. I will right here, right now. I'm going to erase my save file. I'm like, okay.
And then I did. So now, even if we don't do a series, which we totally should, even if we don't, I still have to play through the damn game to do anything anymore because I don't have my save no more. Also, speaking of wrestling, literally as we were doing the sound check for the podcast, something was announced from ID at Xbox, announced WrestleQuest, which looks like a Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden version of WWE Universe, where you make your own wrestler. It is a wrestling JRPG, which they have already confirmed has Bret Hart, Macho Man Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, and Jake the Snake Roberts in it. And it says a bunch more, but I don't know what that means. I've only seen
other
those.
Legends, I guess, is the words they used.
But I've only seen those in the trailer, and I'm here to tell you that game looks awesome. I saw a finisher called like Jimmy's Lunchbox, where a dude threw a pancake, and the guy spiked the pancake down. I was like, is that a New Day reference? I like that. That's great. So
I haven't played like a full-on turn-based JRPG in years.
I haven't either, but that game looks awesome.
And that might be one I'll give a shot.
And everybody looks like an action figure in that game too, which is awesome. Yeah, like everybody has that.
I haven't played the JRPG type stuff since like maybe Octopath Traveler.
Speaking of that, Triangle Strategy came out.
Oh, did it actually come out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I'll have to get that. I'll have to see about that.
Have to look into it. It's another one of those. I don't know why everybody's turning on that art style. I think everything should be made in that art style. I think it looks awesome. I think that like pixel diorama stuff looks amazingly way better than like flat textures.
People do it all the time when something becomes popular. Battle Royale did the same thing. Everyone's like, oh, stop making everything a Battle Royale.
It's true. Even though they have 4 billion hours logged in Fortnite, they're like, I hate this. You're like, fuck off, man. Digital Eclipse is making a Cowabunga Collection for Konami. It's got I think there's like
something that hits me in the childhood. I was like,
was it?
My one weakness.
What did they say? 13 different games.
It's 13 games, and then
a lot of them actually have
also come with their Japanese versions.
And some of them are the SNES versions or NES versions, and they also have the arcades versions of those games too. So you can play the different. It's like the Disney version, how they did like the Sega Genesis, the Game Boy, and the Nintendo versions of all those. That's very exciting because Digital Eclipse did the Blizzard thing, and that Blizzard package was really good. It was very well done. I know a lot of stuff coming out of Blizzard lately has been, but like that was actually good. Maybe because it wasn't made by Blizzard themselves. But I'm excited to see.
I'm not going to say that necessarily, but
Overwatch would disagree with you, and so would WoW. But I digress.
First off, Overwatch is still technically a good game.
It is a good game that hasn't had content in 3 years,
and they haven't updated content. That you can ding them for, but Overwatch, if I still
I love Overwatch.
If I hadn't put hundreds of hours in Overwatch already, it would. I would be like, oh my god, if you played this game's amazing.
Yes, it's an incredible game. I would love to play it. I've tried to download it and play it during some of the holidays, but it's just not great right now. It's not in a great spot. They need to. We'll get into
sniper,
and we'll get into more of this in the news, but. I guess we can talk about it now since we're talking about Blizzard stuff. But apparently they are decoupling the PvE from the PvP in Overwatch 2, which, if you remember, they said the PvP will just be will be added to Overwatch 1 and will also be in Overwatch 2. So that basically means that Overwatch 2, when it comes out, will just be the PvE mode that everybody wants. And does that mean they're going to hold all that PvP content until Overwatch 2 comes out and then release the story DLC stuff later? Or are they going to just release all this stuff in Overwatch 1 so Overwatch 1 can get a big boost and build that back up? Because they were the biggest game in the world. Yeah. And then they were like, we're just not going to do anything as Overwatch 2. And it's like, what's Overwatch 2? PvE mode? Well, why don't you keep supporting this? They're like, nah, I don't want to do that. That's dumb. So,
well, for me, what it says or what it could be is not necessarily that they're going to release a bunch of stuff for Overwatch 1. It's that the PvP for Overwatch 2 and the PvE will be released on separate dates. And odds are the PvE is going to get delayed. Of course it will.
I mean, no, absolutely. Because they have literally said they want to push out the PvP. But I'm saying, if you're pushing out the PvP for Overwatch 2 and the Overwatch 2 servers are the same servers as Overwatch 1, then you're just pushing out updates for Overwatch 1 and charging for them.
Yeah. I mean...
So then everybody should just not buy Overwatch 2 until the PvE comes out, because the PvP is going to be the same thing as Overwatch 1. They said all the characters are coming to Overwatch 1, all the maps are coming to Overwatch 1, all the heroes, all the things, all the modes, that's all coming to Overwatch 1, except for the PvE, that's Overwatch 2 only. So then just update Overwatch 1 already. It doesn't make any damn sense anymore.
At this point, they may just be like, we're going to do... We're not putting that. They may come out in a few weeks.
Do you think they're going to not put stuff in Overwatch 1? Because,
it could very well be. And they're going to be like, hey, we've decided to actually make a graphical difference. Or, we're changing some things in the engine to make certain stuff work better.
And that's fine.
It won't be compatible with Overwatch 1 anymore.
But also, they're going to have to transfer every single fucking cosmetic of every single player from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2.
That's not guaranteed.
They're going to have to.
No, they won't.
Oh, yeah. They have to.
Won't. Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 they didn't transfer shit.
But also, that was a completely different situation, because that was like a weird online shooter and Activision forced them to do the weird shit. Also, Activision in this, which is scaring me a little bit. But the fact that they have already set the groundwork for the stuff for Overwatch 2 to go into Overwatch 1, and they have said, which again, if they go back on it,
totally roll back on it.
Yes, they could, but they have said that all your cosmetics will go through to the other thing, because it's all going to be the same PvP. So then, are they just going to release a client that just says Overwatch 2 and everybody can just play it that owns Overwatch 1, and then you buy the story mode for $40 later or something? Like, what's going to happen? I don't know.
I mean, they could always do it that way. Game companies have done that a few times in recent history.
Wasn't that Halo did that? Was like they literally gave the PvP Infinite away, and then they just sold the season passes and the cosmetics, and then just paid for the story mode, which, you know what, worked out. That was great. That game was bopping high. I got
it on Game Pass either way, so it didn't really matter.
That game is right. Well, that game is also kind of losing some of its momentum, because the pipeline is kind of slowed down on the release of stuff. So people are kind of like, we love Halo, give us more stuff to do. I was literally...
That's the thing a lot of people have had lately, where it's just like, hey, I love your game. Can you make more stuff for the game that I love? And they're we're working on it.
I was literally in a party with a bunch of people playing Destiny 2 who were like, I would rather be playing Halo, but there's nothing to play for it. And I'm like, why? Destiny's great. Like, they're like, oh, it's great. There's no problem with that. I just want to play Halo, but there's no content. And I'm like, I get it, man. That's fine. Cowabunga Collection may have been the only thing from the state of play that I was actually excited about. And that's, coming to other things besides PlayStation.
I think Forspoken looks cool.
It looks cool, but that got delayed as well. Really dope.
But yes, it did. It was like, hey, here's this cool trailer after we tell you it's been delayed.
Yeah, don't you like that? That's good. Stranger in Paradise sure is getting the Final Fantasy game. Speaking of Square, sure is getting a whole lot of. The reviews are all over the place for that game. It looks like Limp Bizkit the game, and look, man, I don't think I want to play it.
It's one of those things where it's just like I have been going back and forth on whether or not I should get that game just so we can like look, just be like, what even is going on in this game?
Yeah.
Just so like you and I can make like a video or something on it and be like, what is happening?
I don't know, because I literally saw a picture of the entire party in that game, all 4 people, and they all have the exact same face. It looks like someone used the character creator from like an Elder Scrolls game or Dragon's Dogma or something, and everyone picked face type A preset, but then changed the skin tone or the age on the characters. Literally all 3 of them look the same.
It's super weird to me, because I can usually kind of gauge whether or not I'll like a game based on reviewers and how they're doing it, and like watching like reviews or videos and stuff. But I still have no real opinion, because I still like, it's all like you're talking about. It's like, it's either people are like, oh, this is great.
It's like an awesome, 8 or a 3.
This is like,
there's no in between.
Yeah.
It's an 8 or a 3. There's no in between. It's so crazy.
And like every review has a but in it. Like every single one. Where it's like, this is awesome, and this is a but. Or it's like, this is terrible, and I hated this,
stupid,
and this was
and
awful,
I hate them.
And then, but this happened, and that was neat, and that was cool. And I feel like it's one of those things, like maybe that's the point, like that's their whole marketing strategy, so people are so confused. They're like, I guess I need to see this for myself. I don't know.
I just know that I keep talking about how it looks like Limp Bizkit the game, like it looks like Edgelord Supreme the game. Someone said that the NDA for that game mentions that you cannot play the song My Way, and I don't know if that's Frank Sinatra or actually Limp Bizkit, but either way, both of those are so
specific.
So either way, both of those are so tonally abstract, completely
different songs.
Yes, absolutely. So is it going to be where he's like, I'm going to kill chaos my way, or is it going to be, I did it my way?
Yeah,
like which one is it going to be?
Like the ending battle, like that's going over.
Okay, so you're all a bunch of edgelords, and it's like literally playing, like you're literally like fighting to, and so the end is near.
Like, I would love that so much.
I don't know which one I would love more. I don't know if I would love.
Definitely I think Limp Bizkit would fit too well, and I would be like kind of like edgelords with edgelords.
Imagine
Sinatra just starts belting out over this ridiculously like particle affected like JRPG ending scene. Like, oh, this is perfect. It's like was it Metal Gear Solid 4 where they had that long ass song, and you're like, wait, the game's not over. Why am I still fighting on this oil rig?
Man, I just think that like you're literally like fighting chaos, and you're just like, I don't care who the hell you are, I'm gonna kill chaos, and then it's just like, but my way, the highway. It's just like, oh my god, it's just like this. Please, I almost want that to be. I'm the palest man alive. I don't care.
I'd probably have you beat. I just have warmer lighting.
It's true. I like this lighting. It's fine. Whatever. Either way, that game, the reviews are either an 8 or a 3. So you'll either love it or hate it. People are like, wow, the character models are dumb. The story makes no sense. The combat's fun, though. Yeah.
And it's one of those things, like, I don't know if I want to spend the money on a game I'd play for like 4 hours and be like, I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it.
There's too many other things coming out right now, or are already out that I already own.
Down the road, it goes on sale, and I'm like, all right, I'll get it. Fine. You got me.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, guys, have you played Strangers in Paradise?
Right.
Oh my God. I want to kill chaos all day.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it could be the complete opposite, where I'm like, this is a trash game for trash people, and it's just, you're all trash for wanting it.
It could be. I don't know. Dead Space remake has been pushed back to 2023. No one is surprised. The game looks good. They're giving it time to breathe. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Going back to Square Enix. Square Enix is
one of the few people that wanted Dead Space 4. I don't care. Dead Space remake is also awesome.
So they basically said like, doing this basically opens up the stage for remaking 2 and 3 if it sells well, and then pushing the story in a different direction, which like I like the way it was going. I just don't know how that escalation. I don't know where you go from there, because
that's true. Where it was
Moon.
Like, it was definitely one of those things where you look and go, I don't think we're going to win this one.
But I wanted to. I played the DLC.
I wanted to try.
I wanted to try real hard. So going back to Square Enix, following the story of releasing something good, then releasing a stinker back and forth, they love to heal wounds and then blow their own feet off. I don't know. They kind of blew off both feet recently, because they did Babylon's Fall, which is like horribly reviewing, and then they did the Chocobo GP, which apparently from everyone who's played it is actually a really fun kart racer game. It's like, I'm hearing a lot of people say it's very fun to play. It's way too grindy, and it's the greediest damn game I've ever played in my life. I'm going to say something, and when you hear it, you're all going to gasp, and you're going to sigh, and you're going to go, ugh. So, Chocobo GP is a $50 game.
Sure.
It's fun.
Wait, is it a game that you pay for and there's also microtransactions?
It is a $50 game that then has season passes in it. Now, I get that like games like Sea of Thieves do that, because Sea of Thieves is included in Game Pass. Most people are playing through there. I actually own Sea of Thieves, but like I get why they would do seasons in Sea of Thieves, because it does actually add a lot to it, and those seasons are free, but you can pay for additional fees for to get basically some of the store cosmetics. I get that.
But the Sea of Thieves season pass also respects your time.
Yes, it respects your time. It also respects your wallet, and it actually gives you a lot of stuff worth your time. Because each piece in that pass is worth like $10. So you're basically getting like $100 worth of shit.
But you also get like the premium currency and all of this stuff.
Yes, you get a lot of stuff, and a lot of that is like every tier but 10 is free, so it's great. But this is fucking crazy. So this game is $50, and then it has a pass. And it also gives you free premium currency, the paid currency, but it expires after a certain amount of time.
What if there's nothing I want to buy when I'm doing this, and like, but I might want to buy something down the road, and they're like, "Nah, you got to spend it now, even if it's on something you don't want."
That is absolutely what they want you to do. Is they are going to. Yep, that is the worst thing I've ever heard. And Square Enix, I hope you see this. Hey, I love your games, but that is fucking stupid. You should stop.
Hold on, I love most of your games. Can't say I love all of them.
Yeah, I don't love Babylon's Fall.
Stop trying to make me like lightning. It will never happen.
Also, yes, all of the 13. You know, I don't think it's a hot take, but here's my hot take. DeadAction hot take. You ready? Look at me right here. Right here. I hate all of the 13 games. I think they're the worst Final Fantasy games. They were genuinely, they were anti-fun. They were just not fun to play. I hated them. Monsters go extinct if you kill too many and you can't over-level. Wow, what a great mechanic. That's almost as bad as paying $60 for a game and not getting XP is the same thing as getting free currency that's paid and it expires. It's all bad ideas. But they have said that they are going to...
How hard is the season pass to level up?
I don't know, but apparently it was really, really hard, and it has both Squall, Heart, and Cloud Strife in the first pass because neither one of them are included in the game. Yeah. And also, they have said that they are going to be a little more lax on the rewards, so you get more rewards for running races, because people are like, you have to run thousands of races to get people. This is crazy. And also, they gave everyone 500 extra of the premium currency. I don't know whether that will expire because it was free or not. Yikes. Yeah. Don't know about that, but that's not a good look for a game that apparently everybody is super excited to play.
Here's $20, but in about 10 minutes, I'm going to set it on fire. So you better spend it.
Yeah, you better spend it and make sure it gets in someone else's hand before it disappears. Elden Ring has sold over 12 million copies I'm actually very surprised, but also not surprised, because this game has kind of taken the whole world by storm. But also, it's a FromSoft game, so hearing the big 12 million is kind of crazy.
Yep. It's weird hearing it for like something that's not like a Call of Duty or, like a Madden or something like that.
Absolutely. It's very, very
something
crazy.
That you always assume is going to sell, 1 billion copies, to be hyperbolic about it. But yeah, it's also, I guess that's also why they're like, hey, Elden Ring, you guys like Elden Ring, right? Well, we're also going to be doing comics maybe, or a book, or a movie, or a TV series.
Elden Ring is supposedly going into the multimedia market, which makes perfect sense, because I heard rumor that was why Sony bought Bungie that's why they're letting Bungie do what they want to do with Destiny, is because they just wanted the rights to make Destiny TV shows and books and movies and stuff, which makes sense.
See what Xbox is doing with Halo, and they're like, hey, we could do that.
Correct. With a thing that Xbox made. Absolutely. Let's do that. Speaking of Xbox and Game Pass and all those good things, still the best deal around. Tunic, a long-awaited game, is shadow dropped onto Game Pass this morning.
Absolutely, be digging into that as soon as we get off. As soon as we're done recording, I'll be playing me some furry Zelda, my friend.
Yeah. Do you remember Oceanhorn? I liked that game.
I remember it. I never played it.
I never finished it, but it was basically a love letter to Wind Waker, but it was isometric, and it was good. It was. I assume Tunic will be similar to that, but I've heard Tunic is a lot more like Dark Souls than I would imagine. I've heard it's very difficult for it to be so cute.
For me, it reminds me a lot of Death's Door, which I almost 100%ed because I was enjoying that game so much.
It's a really good game. I completely fell off of it.
Yeah. Elden Ring came out.
I got to the part where I got to the Frog King's place, and it was so fucking confusing to get around that I gave up.
For me, I was never confused about the level design. There was a few times where I would get stuck, but I'd eventually find my way around.
Oh boy, that particular place where it had you go free the prisoners in the different area, do the souls to open the door like you do and all the stuff. It's the introduce at the very beginning of the game. Sure. It's not a spoiler. but the ones in the frog place were so out of the way and in weird places that it would never point you towards in any shape, form, or fashion, and there's no map so you can see. That's the actual problem in that game. The level design is not bad. It's the fact there's no fucking map so you can tell where you've been and haven't been, so you're just like rambling around because you think, oh, I haven't been in here because this door is closed, so I guess I can go in here, but there's a door that's open because you hit a switch 4 hours ago and you don't remember that you hit that, and so there's a door you've never gone in, but you think you've gone in it because it's already open, and so it turns out you should have gone in that open door the whole time that you thought you'd already gone into, but you didn't. And so after I did the first part and actually got to like his domain, and it was like you have to hit all these torches to activate this stuff, I just wasn't having fun anymore. I just gave up. I was like, this is not fun.
That's fair.
Like it literally got to a point where there was like gorilla dudes that like jump, float, and then slam on you, and I was like, this isn't fun anymore. This is like gone past the point of being where I'm enjoying a nice challenge to where it's like 5 of these dudes are just slamming on this ring that I have to run around to light this torch, and I just stopped having fun. So it's a great game, but yeah, I didn't want to stick with it. It just was not.
It doesn't get any easier after that. So.
Right. So yeah, it's a beautiful game. I loved the presentation and stuff, but I hit that point and just went, there's too much other good shit that I could actually be playing that I would actually enjoy playing besides just trying to like push through because everybody says it's so good. I see why it's good. I also just see that I am allowed. Okay, let's normalize stepping away from a game that you are not having fun with anymore. Please. You do not have to force yourself to play. If you're not enjoying Elden Ring, don't play 500 hours of it and then go, I hated that game. It makes no fucking sense. Why did you do that? That's dumb.
I don't care if I'm doing, or if I'm doing, or trying to do something to, talk about it or review it or what have you. I will totally be transparent. Like, I didn't enjoy the game, didn't finish it. Dying Light 2, never finished the story. Don't plan to. Didn't have fun with the game.
Yeah. Me, I loved the game. Started a second playthrough the moment I ended it, but also hard drive space is limited, so it's currently not installed. I do love the game, but they're also, the week after that game came out, and I'd finished one ending, 5 billion other things came out that I had to play, like Elden Ring and everything else. The WWE 2K, a GTA remake, or a GTA remaster, like another version of that. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Did we talk about the new stuff they started adding to the GTA version yet? Where they've added a whole new they've already started adding content that is exclusive to the new generation. If I didn't get into that earlier, the house stuff, and then like House has a whole. There's new cars that are exclusive to the new version already. There's new car upgrades that are exclusive. There's a whole new shop and a whole new activity that is linked to How and the car meet that is exclusive to the new consoles that you cannot get on the old stuff. So they've already started putting new stuff on the new consoles, which feels like it's worth the move, because I'm here to tell you, it feels familiar, but it does feel like a brand new game. It is crazy. I'm not saying it looks like Elden Ring, like it doesn't look like a crazy like new game, but the lighting effects and the load times are nuts. 4K textures, make it a completely different experience. 4K textures in that game with the frame rate boost are so damn tasty. It's so good. And I mentioned that because I had that in the news and I couldn't remember if I'd already talked about it or not. If I have, sorry, but I'm still gushing over it because that's a game that I really like. So they did the criminal enterprise thing where if you're not new and you transfer your thing over, you get a super souped up car that I did read last night does actually say, give me a second, I'll pull it up on my phone. It does actually say that it is a super, the car is fully souped up with all of the upgrade from House, and it also says that you get the Corinne S95 converted and tuned up courtesy of House Special Works alongside exclusive cool noise, whatever that means, HSW racing suit. The dark purple pearl chameleon paint and red prismatic pearl chameleon paints are both for people who transferred exclusively. Wow. So
those are some cool paints that we got for transferring, apparently.
Yes. So that's cool. Good to know. Yeah. I don't think we've seen those because the two that we have seen is the red. I think we've seen the red prismatic on other vehicles, but we've seen the purple flip. We haven't seen the purple prismatic. Yeah. Those may be exclusive to the new cars.
It's possible because I think you can get red, blue, and black prismatic.
Right. It's like baby blue. Yeah. Either way, I'm very excited to see what they add, because I will say that the coolest stuff that has been added in that game was not available in the 360 version, because they said, we can't do this on this hardware. It's too much. And
the loading will not work on these.
Yeah, like they've said, like, yeah, like, well, like some of those, like the heists and stuff, like the Doomsday heist, I think, and a bunch of other stuff, right? They started, like, they chopped off the 360 and were like, did they put heists in the 360 version, or did they wait until the new version and put those in?
I think when the Xbox One version came out, heists came out.
I think so too. I think they literally were like,
but I think you could have played it on the 360 version still.
Could you? Okay.
So.
I don't remember what the cutoff date on the content was, but I do know that they've added a lot. Like, they sunset those versions.
I think some of the bigger heists you couldn't do on the 360, like some of the later updates.
Right. So they sunset those versions and then eventually look, this was 10 years ago. Okay. I'm sorry that I don't remember everything about what was sunset and when, what content got tailgated and put out to pasture for what version. God. Sorry, I don't remember. That was 10 years ago. I've been playing it ever since. I've never stopped playing that game. I just don't remember, because I'm in the world. It's a living, breathing world.
A lot of things happened,
but I'm very excited to see what they can do on these new consoles now that they have officially cut off support on the older stuff for them starting to bring out new stuff. I don't know if they're going to bring out I don't know if they're going to bring out any more new content for the older stuff. I'm not sure, but I do know that they've already started releasing stuff exclusive to the new gen. So that makes me excited to see what they can do with this hardware on a 9-year-old game.
It's, of course, Xbox Series S's are relatively easy to get, but people who want to get like a PS5 or an Xbox Series X are going to have a harder time playing this new stuff.
Yeah, and I will say, I think that actually probably helped with server load on launch of this new version, because we didn't have any server issues, and it's probably because it was bottlenecked by the supply and demand of said consoles. We were like, oh, good, that was nice. Instead of being like, oh, I'm sitting at this screen for 12 hours, I'm going to scream about it. My hand is still a little, you can't see it, my hand is still a little bit green, by the way, from the Sucker for Love episode. There's still a faint outline of green from my Eldritch magic.
So that is the color of commitment.
Yeah, committing to Lunetta. You got to commit if you want the dump truck. That's all I'm saying.
Get the smooches.
Speaking of smooches, Rune Factory 5 will have same-sex marriage, which should have been a thing a long time ago. But also, I'm very excited about Rune Factory 5, and any chance I get to talk about that game, I'm going to talk about it, because I want to play that game. I'm very excited. That's where I'm going to be. It's like, oh, GTA is great. We need to go back to GTA because there's something else I need to talk about. But also, like, the moment that Rune Factory 5 comes out, I'll be like, hey, smooches, let's go into dungeons.
I'm going to be like, hey, you playing this? You're like, nah.
So what we were talking about with the criminal empire builder thing, if you're new, sure. So if you're old, I told you the stuff you get when you transfer over, right? Okay, great. If you're new, you get a $4 million windfall is what they call it. You get to make a new character. You don't get the stuff that we mentioned, and then you get to pick a business from one of the 4 businesses. It's like biker, nightclub.
Meat farm, I think, is one of them.
No, it's bunker. The biker owns weed farms, so it's biker, the biker club, the nightclub, the executive office, or the nightclub, biker, executive office, gun running bunker. That's the 4th one. Gotcha. And so because those are going to be a lot of people's first businesses, they were like, well, we're going to give you something. But a lot of I'm going to tell you, as someone who owns all those businesses in that game, a lot of those businesses don't have any passive income at all, and they kind of are terrible for everything other than one thing. Like the nightclub is just a thing you should not buy until the end game, where you own every other business, and then you let that business stockpile stuff that you go sell in a public lobby. However, now that is actually the best way to make money passively in the game, because if your popularity is high in your nightclub and you actually run a successful nightclub, it used to give you like $100 a day, which was useless. But now, if your popularity is up, you get $50K a day. That's a
lot more useful.
That's like 45 minutes to an hour in game. I forget what the actual time on that is, but that if you keep that up and you get all the upgrades that make it where your popularity doesn't go down as fast, that's a great way to just like get money while you're just playing and just have that shit pop in the bank. I'm like, oh yeah. So instead of just ignoring my nightclub and letting it be empty and it's just Laszlo crying in the corner, I'm like literally going in there like, let's get this money started. like just bust up in there.
Instead of instead of being like super fun with only 3 people on the dance floor, like we did give me the blimp, I need to get our popularity.
Give me the blimp. I'm throwing flyers. I'm gonna blast boomboxes over the arena. I'm gonna walk out with champagne. I'm gonna go beat cars with bats and throw grenades at them and kill people. I'm gonna do all the stuff I need to do. Yeah. One bug that we found that's really weird in the Xbox version. I don't know that anybody else has this.
Radio while I'm in a party.
You cannot listen to the radio in. It actually does it for all the audio. All the audio sounds weird. It gives a really weird filter over the audio whenever you're in an Xbox Live party playing the new GTA version. It like does a weird thing where it like messes up the audio, so the radio doesn't work. You'll still hear mission music, but you won't hear the radio.
No.
And all of the audio sounds tinny. It like makes everybody have like a weird tin filter over their voice because something is clearly fucking up. But it's a really weird bug. The game still plays fine. We still had a blast. Yeah. But that's a really weird bug that I'm sure they'll fix at some point. But other than that, yeah, it's great. It's fun. It's still fun.
Don't need a radio when you've got us too.
Yeah, you don't need a radio, or maybe you're listening to us on the radio. At which point, thank you. Hi, how you doing? Love
you. Drive safe.
Yeah, speaking of growing pains in games, apparently, according to a VentureBeat article, Warren Spector says that Other Side Entertainment has not worked on System Shock 3 in over 3 years.
I don't think there's anything I've been less surprised about.
I don't think that game is real. I think that game got launched during the boom of all of the remakes and is just never going to get touched.
I think in a few months, or I honestly think by the end of this year they'll be like, yeah, System Shock 3 is not happening.
Did they ever
definitely or shelved or however you want to?
Did they ever come out with the System Shock 2 remake that they were supposed to be doing?
I don't think so.
So why are they making 3?
Because people still want a System Shock 3.
Okay, but if you're going to make 2 first.
Most of the people who want a System Shock 3 have played System Shock 1 and 2 already.
I get that, but if you're trying to like cut new people's teeth on making a System Shock game, do it on an established blueprint before you do. That's why a lot of these remakes are getting made. Is it's training people in experience with giving them experience with something that's already established, so it's harder to fuck up because you have a blueprint to follow instead of making something wild, mad dash and open and like something brand new, right? So if you know that, that game is already established as what it is, then you can work with that within the confines of that.
If they make it separate enough that you don't necessarily need to know what happened in System Shock 1 and 2, it would still be fine. That
would work for fans. I'm not talking about for fans. I'm talking about for developers of the game. You're using a previous game, a remake of that, to train your developers to be able to make the third game on an already established blueprint.
Sure.
So like, we already know how to make System Shock 2. We've already made it. So remake it. You already know what it needs to have in it. So put all those things in it. And then now that you know how to use the tech better, go make 3. That's what that's what a lot of people are doing. I don't know what they're doing. I don't even remember if it was the same dev team that was making the System Shock 2 remake. For some reason, I want to say it was a different group, but I forget who it was.
I think it was separate.
But either way, why is that series doing weird? I don't know. It's all strange. I don't know. Arceus has finally come to Diamond and Pearl remakes. If you own a save file for the
Legend of Arceus.
Legends Arceus, yes. Very strange, but I own those, so sure,
you can't get Arceus and Darkrai, I guess, if you don't have a save file.
Yeah. Also, I think they added Shaman as a thing in the remakes as well. Shaman, the little mythical porcupine bush. It's like a little green hedgehog bush that has like a lily flower on its head.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, very cute. Never looked like it would be effective in a fight unless it was like a like there's certain Pokemon like Chansey. You're like that. Yeah. Okay, Chansey looks like she would be good at rollout. But Shaman looks like it would only be good at healing. Like using moves like Mega Drain, Giga Drain, and like Leech Seed and stuff. Like it just doesn't look like something that would be like, I'm gonna hit you with a Mach Punch and you're gonna lay on the ground till I'm done with you. Ooh, yeah. And you're like, Shaman, calm down. You're so aggressive.
That's why it'd be so effective. You'd never see it coming.
Yeah, exactly.
How did it punch me in the face?
Speaking of gorging on good stuff, we already know WWE 2K is good, but it's very good. It's like reviewing. It's like right under 80, which is like crazy compared to what it is. But the word of mouth is taken off on that game, and everybody's playing it. Like it is.
I'm not surprised that word of mouth is taken off for 2K22 because everyone's like, "Hey guys, did you know wrestling could be fun again?"
Yeah, and it is.
Like, oh my god, fun. It is.
If you've watched our video, I had a lot of fun in that, and it was very fun. And I've been having fun every day because there's just so many modes to play. And it's like, do you want like story stuff? Okay. Do you want to just play in like a build your own faction thing? Do you want to be a GM? Okay, do that mode. There's another mode. Do you want to do online fights? All right, they actually have. Like
there's something for everyone.
Yes. There's like pick a character and you can go play in their career. Like,
yeah,
you know,
why not? Or, you know, make your own monstrosities and make your own wrestling federation, and out of all just the worst kinds of things that you can dream up.
If you just want to make nightmares and then have them wrestle each other, you can do that. Bot matches are a thing, and they're awesome to watch because they're good at the game.
Probably better than I would be.
Speaking of the buffet of, continuing on the subject of the buffet of wonderful things that are coming out, and monsters, Monster Hunter Rise is getting that DLC at some point soon, and we're gonna play it because we play Monster Hunter. That's like one of our favorite.
Sometimes to an unhealthy degree.
Nah, no such thing. It's great, but they're coming out with 3 new amiibo. I don't own the original amiibo for that game, but they did look cool.
I have the Palamute and the Palico from the original.
The Magnamallow is gigantic, and so they're bringing out, what is his name? Montezuma, Monzela, something. It's another
Mozilla Firefox.
Yep, that's him. That's him.
It's a new one.
I actually forget his name, but it's the new title monster from the new thing, and the cat and the dog get armor that get that for their outfits. Yeah. And
that's pretty cool.
Also, the crabs are back, baby. Look, I don't know if the Hermitaur is confirmed, but Keonatar is confirmed, and that's good for me. I'm okay with that. I would love for them. I'd love for them both to come back, but I love the Keonatar. Wonder if we'll get the terracotta one or if we'll just get the blue. They've got to be adding subspecies, right?
You would think so, but who knows?
It's just a color change and a couple of moves gets different.
Changes, yeah.
They do get behavior changes. The Sonic movie is coming out soon. Go ahead. I'll come back to this.
For me, the Monster Hunter Rise thing that could. I haven't played Rise as much as I thought I would. Certainly not to the degree that I played World. But I'm hoping, because I'm going to get the DLC. That's not up for debate here. Yeah. It's going to happen. I'm going to play it.
Yeah.
I just wish that they would be like, hey, things are fun when you can put them out on other consoles, like PC. Why can't I get it? Why can't I get it on my Xbox?
There was an alleged leak that Monster Hunter World 2 is being worked on, because of course it is. Yeah. Because of course it is. It's the biggest selling thing they've ever had ever. Of course it is. I'm surprised Rise existed. Rise is great. Rise feels better to play than actual Monster Hunter World. It doesn't look as good, but it feels better to play. So if they learn from that, take these, like the swing around, the bug parkour stuff. Turns out when you add a jump button into games, you can't go back.
Yeah.
You can't go back.
Looking at you, Elden Ring.
Yeah, I literally read a thing on Twitter where someone said, I'd never played a Dark Souls game, so I logged in and played Elden Ring, played like 1 billion hours, had fun, was like, I should play Dark Souls 3. They logged in Dark Souls 3, walked up to a fence, tried to jump over it, and was like, I uninstalled it. I can't play this. There's no jump button. Like, I get it. I understand. Because
sometimes you can't go back.
Because to jump in Dark Souls requires you to sprint, which is like hold the B button, and then click the left stick whenever you want to jump. Yeah. So you like hold the B button to run, and then you click it, and you're like, ooh, and it's like, that feels terrible. You should not have to hold claw formation to do that. That's bad. But to go to the Sonic movie, I'm very excited about the Sonic movie. I probably won't watch it in theaters. I'll probably watch it streaming at some point somewhere. But that first movie was real good.
I want to see it in theaters, and if I have to like drive to you and drag you to a theater, we might have to do that, like have an adventure.
Sure, maybe. I'm very excited for that movie, though. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I have so many Sonic things. I'm so excited.
That's like a guaranteed gift anyone can get you for your birthday or Christmas. It's like, get him something Sonic. I love it.
It's true. It's true. I have an Eggman action figure from you. I have the Sonic Mania statue over here. I've got like cells from the animation from the Saturday morning cartoon. I have the Dr. Robotnik boss fight action figure you bought me for Christmas that is like the thing from Sonic 2, the boss fight at the end that's like the big egg walker thing that's in the new movie. The tornado is in the new movie.
It is in the new movie.
Is Rouge the Bat in the new movie? That's probably in the third movie, right? It'll be Shadow and Rouge the Bat, and then I will just fucking be all fucked up. CG Rouge the Bat is going to fuck up everybody.
Unless they Lola Bunny her, and then they desexualize.
Oh, then you just don't need to put her in there. What is the point of putting the baps and scaps in there if you're going to take the baps out? He's got the scaps. Nobody wants that.
Then it's just a weird bat person. That's not attractive.
Yeah, then it's just a bat person wearing a leather gimp suit. If she doesn't have curves, there's no point. Anyway, that movie looks incredible. I'm very excited about it. They've already announced there's going to be a third movie, and Idris Elba has the Knuckles show coming, which is, I might have a reason to get Paramount Plus at that point, other than iCarly, which I still haven't watched, but I do love iCarly. But apparently they're doing a prequel comic that will have 6 different sub-stories that all tell different points of view leading up to the new movie. It's called the Pre-Quill, as in quill, as in hedgehogs have quills.
I get it.
And Jim Carrey is involved in that somehow. Not sure how, but
he is involved.
He doesn't have a writing credit on it. According to what I read, he doesn't have a writing article on it. Maybe he just went in there and was like, "Of course, I love the way you make them." And they were like, yes, we love that. We love that energy. Great energy, Jim. Okay, thank you.
Given his his love of art, maybe he was like, "Hey, can I do some art?"
He may have done alternate covers or something. Yeah, I don't know, because it says that he helped spearhead it, whatever that means.
Yeah. That might have just been like he was going to the studios, going, "Make this comic. I'm Jim Carrey."
It's possible. The New York Times has shut down Wordle Archive. We are not surprised. They paid a lot of money for Wordle.
Saw that coming.
Yeah, well, they paid a lot of money for Wordle.
They bought Wordle. We just know that was good. Like, well, I can't wait. Now it's just like, when's the paywall going to hit?
Yeah,
that's coming like a freight train too.
Oh yeah,
I don't care what they said.
For sure,
I can't even go on their website and read an article. And you think they're going to let me play Wordle?
Okay,
really?
Okay, let's take a moment to talk about weird things that don't make any sense. Just please, for a moment.
Sure.
Okay. Forbes requires you to pay for their website after you've read like 4 articles, right?
Yeah, like within like a month. It's like,
sure. They have a editor who only does Destiny 2 articles.
Yeah.
He comes out with like 3 Destiny articles a day and wants you to read all of them.
Yeah.
You can only read like 4 in a month.
Yeah, if you want to read all those Destiny articles, a Forbes subscription just makes sense,
I'm not fucking doing that. That is crazy.
Well, you're obviously reading all the Destiny articles.
No. In a world where you can get all this stuff no, that is a terrible play. In a world where you can get all the information on YouTube in a video form read to you, where you don't even have to read it. You just have to suffer through a dude going.
I would rather read that stuff than have to listen to, "Hey guys, it's your boy. Let's hit you up with another Destiny 2 video.
No, absolutely.
I'm going to show you in 10 minutes about the one thing that only takes 2 minutes to show you."
Yeah, it's like the text comes in from off the screen, the big 3D email, and it spins like 8 times and fireworks shoot off of it, and they're like, "I bought that for $30. I'll be using it every day." And you're like, who cares? They're like, "What up, guys? It's your boy Swagbag76 coming at you. But first off, I got this weird NFT I'm gonna try to sell you." And you're like, nope, click off. But that being said, I would rather read the article, but there are a million other people who read that for the information and then put it on their website. So I'll just go read that. I don't need his opinion because I can just go find that information, because the moment that it's made publicly available on Twitter, everybody has the information. And so I will just go read it on another website. I know that sucks. I'm not calling out Forbes, but I'm just saying, maybe don't.
We're calling him out.
Maybe don't.
We're calling you out, Forbes.
Maybe
don't listen to him. We're calling you out.
No, but maybe don't put your weird game stuff in a live service game behind a paywall. It doesn't make any damn sense.
You say that, but from a business sense, it makes all the sense in the world.
Okay,
Destiny 2 is a very popular game. People want to know, have all the up-to-date information, so it makes perfect sense they'd try to get you to pay for it. They're a business. It's a magazine, and print isn't exactly as successful as it used to be.
I get that. But my problem is that, again, you can get the information from free from other places the moment the information comes out. I don't care about that person's opinions. I don't care what they think the god rolls are. I don't care. I just want to know where to find mods in week 3.
Forbes doesn't care that you have access to the information. They just want to try to get you to pay for theirs.
Right.
That's all they care about.
Yeah, I get that. But again, maybe don't put weird video game stuff that is going to be useless in 24 hours behind a paywall. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's all I'm saying. I'd be interested in the numbers for like the clicks on those articles and like a subscription rate. Destiny 2 is popular. It's a very strange thing. It's just really crazy that it's like we're the money website. It's like, okay, cool. Destiny is also a thing that draws people in. You're like, okay, well, I'm still not paying for a subscription. Love you, boo, bye. Speaking of things that don't make sense, that's a Randy Pitchford reference. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands will have crossplay across the board, and it will probably be broken at launch because you honestly should expect this. Everything breaks at launch. When everybody is playing a new thing, when the hordes of the YouTubers fall on it and all the Twitch people, they're going to be sitting there on launch day going, oh, I can't play this game. It's a 1 out of 10 because I can't play it. And then the next day when the servers do work, they're like, 10 out of 10, I love it. And it's like, you're just a jaded asshole. Just let the devs be human, you psycho. You should know at this point. We've been doing this long enough. You should know things don't always work on launch day.
Well, people are always going to have their opinions, and yes, you're right. Launch day, you can be, there's always going to be some leeway in how a server is going to be treated. But for me, I want to support this strictly because they're doing the thing I want every video game to do.
Let you make your own character?
No, let me play with whoever I want to fucking play with.
Yeah.
Stop relegating me to your own stupid lobbies.
Yeah.
If I bought the game on your platform, great. If I didn't, don't punish me for it. Just let me play with people.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially if it's a multi-platform game. It's not an exclusive, so obviously you don't care that much.
Yes, I agree. But I am very excited to make our own characters this time because I do think that the last batch of Vault Hunters sucked dick through a straw.
I don't agree, but I respect your opinion.
They were interesting characters. They were not fun to play, in my opinion. Like I said, I don't remember if we talked about that already this episode.
Yes,
or was that during the mic check?
We talked about it this episode.
Okay. Borderlands 3 was not fun to me.
It was fun to other people, though.
But that's the news. That's all I got.
Hold on. Let me go back to the Tiny Tina's Wonderland thing.
Oh, you're good. I mean, no, you're good. I'm just saying that's all I've got. So if you've got anything, add it.
I want to be one of those people that's there day one to play it. I don't know why, but I'm always super excited for a new Borderlands game.
I'll play it with you.
Terribly excited for the pre-sequel, but that was a mistake because it ended up being a very fun game.
It's my favorite one. It's really stupid because they retconned all those characters into existence, and that makes no sense because they started from being. Hold on one moment. I'm just going to do that. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. Yeah, because all those characters were in Borderlands 2, and then they were just default character models, and then they had to go back and give them actual character. But what they should have done, if they'd have done this, it'd have been great. If they'd just patched in all those character models for those bosses.
Sure.
They should have done that. They didn't do that. It made no sense. But that game, Borderlands pre-sequel, was so good. I shit on that game. I was a manager at a GameStop at the time, and I was so I'm not playing this game. They didn't even put the character models in the game, and it looks dumb and this and that and whatever. And then I played it.
Yeah.
And then I played it.
Which is kind of why I'm giving Tiny Tina's Wonderlands a shot.
Yes.
I want it to be good. I mean, of course, any game you get, you want to be good.
Yeah.
You can always have.
I don't like throwing money at my ass. I don't have enough to throw.
The money I have, I could probably fit up there. Let's be honest. It's not a lot. That's my secret wallet is what I like to call it.
Pick up them quarters, boy.
but I want Tiny Tina's one once good, so I want to play it day one because of course everyone wants to play it day one.
Sure. Totally.
But I will also I'm going to try and be as kind and fair as I can when I talk about it when it comes up.
Yeah,
once we've given it some time.
I was a teenager whenever the pre-sequel came out. So yes, I thought I was a cool edgelord working at GameStop. Turns out it's not.
It's the same thing with like we were talking about the Strangers in Paradise. It's like it goes one way or the other, and I want to be on the 8 side with my own personal experience, but who knows?
Right. Well, it's one of those things that I have learned about gamer opinions online and from myself growing up and maturing as an adult is when you're a teenager, you will have very, very sharp opinions, and some people never grow out of those. You'll be very mean in ways that are uncalled for, and that's the one game in particular I think about because I was wrong, but I didn't play it. But I was literally forced to watch content on it on a loop every single day, every 30 minutes. They showed off footage. They talked about it. They did the whole thing. They had their GameStop TV stuff going, and it would literally drive me crazy to the point where I was just like, I keep looking at it and I'm like, I have literally picked apart this entire trailer and it looks like garbage. And then again, I had my edgy gamer opinions where I'm like, it'll never be as good as Borderlands 2. Why don't they just make Borderlands 3? And they made Borderlands 3 and it was terrible to me. And I loved Borderlands the pre-sequel, which is crazy. But that's just how it was. I was like, why don't they just make Borderlands 3? Why they gotta go back? That's a money grab. That's a money grab. Blah, 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 whatever. And then I played it and was like, damn, this game's great. I want more. And they're like, no, we're not doing any more support for that. Sorry. And I was like, I hate this.
I was like that with Sea of Thieves. I was so down on that game for so long, and then they came up with content for it, and I was like, "Oh, this game's really fun!"
Yeah,
and I had a lot of fun playing it.
They basically launched a framework, and then after the first year, they added the story mode, and you were like, "Oh, there's something to this." And so I log on one day, and you're playing it, and I'm like, "You won't ever play this game with me. Why are you playing this game?" And you're like, "I just decided I'd give it another try. Turns out it's a pretty good game." I'm like, "I've been saying it's a good game for a year." You're like, "Yeah, but it didn't have a lot to do." And I'm like, "That's true." Yeah. And then so they keep adding.
Game, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "Fishing." I'm like, "Cool."
Fishing wasn't in it for 2 years.
Yeah, that's kind of the point I'm making.
I know, but I'm just saying, but once it was, I was like, they're adding fishing to Sea of Thieves? I'm Max from the Fishing Faction. In case anybody was wondering.
If you want DeadAction Jones to want to play your game, put fishing in it.
Yeah, it's not, can you pet the dog? It's, can I fish in this game? Yeah. Speaking of which, I am maxed out with the Fishing Faction. Just in case anybody was worried, I've already.
Sure. Why wouldn't you be?
Already done it.
Yeah, that's like your main rep grind, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fish and play this tall tale.
I'm gonna go fish and cook the food and turn it in for a little bit, a paltry sum of gold, and it gets good when you're selling rare fish. But I'm just selling common fish because I'm just sitting there listening to news and podcasts for the week, right. trying to consolidate what has happened in the week so we can talk about it and listening to people talking about stuff, and yeah, I just. Whatever. Oh my God, we forgot a thing. Oh no, I forgot to talk about a thing before we get to the main subject. Oh wow, it's really stupid. Oh, I remember why I didn't want to talk about it, but I do want to talk about it because it sucks, but I just remembered what it was.
Okay.
Dr. Disrespect sucks.
That's a hell of a thing to just come out and say. With, by the way, no context. You're just like, I forgot to talk about it. Dr. Disrespect sucks. It's like, well, I think there's a reason you may have forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the guy. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of anything he puts out. It just feels like he's toxic. Yeah, you can donate to charity, but when you're bitch slapping people and cheating on your wife, it's not fun. You're recording in bathrooms. That's not cool either. And then they came out with that recently. That was part of the news. Was they came out that he literally posted a thing on his Twitter that says neither him nor Twitch are going to talk about it, but neither one of them admit fault in the situation. And then right after that, he came out with the fact that he's selling NFTs, which are weird avatars to his new game studio.
It's part of their founders pack. You're going to have your own NFT avatar that you can use in the game, I guess. Does that mean you can use your avatar in other stuff? Because the metaverse isn't really a thing yet. I don't care what anyone says. So I feel like the avatar is going to be for that game and probably for a while or ever that game alone.
Well, that's
so
the
I don't
thing.
Feel like the whole point of having the NFT version makes a whole lot of sense.
It doesn't. It's stupid. It's a buzzword. It's pointless. It's terrible. But the whole thing is that everybody talks about how cool it would. Wouldn't it be cool if everything was Sword Art Online and you could literally bring your swords into Gun Gale? You're like, that would be cool. And it's like, it's not going to happen. It would only happen if, like, Ubisoft was to, like, say, let you bring your Assassin's Creed Viking into Watch Dogs. That could be a use for the metaverse. Would make no fucking sense. Would never work. But it would be interesting if you could do that.
Sure.
That's how it works as Sword Art Online, is you bringing your swords and your gear into the gun game, right? That's how it works. But that's not how it would actually work, because you're not going to get the rights in perpetuity for a Blizzard game to let you bring Tracer over to Second Life so that she can bone down all the time. That's never going to be a thing.
That's probably the biggest thing, is they don't want you to do the things you want to do with their IP. But I guess that's the point of the NFT version. It's like, it's technically your IP because it's an NFT. And
but it's not. No, because remember when they sold the stupid NFT of the Dune book, and those dude bros thought that's how it worked, and they bought the Dune book and were like, we're gonna make a Dune movie and a Dune thing off this Dune book we bought, bro. It's gonna be totally tubular, dog. And then they bought it, and then it wasn't that at all.
It's not those two aren't technically the same thing. I know where you're coming from, where the NFT was actually, I think it was just like a digital file of the Dune book, but you didn't have rights to Dune. But with the NFT thing for the game, at the very least, if I'm not mistaken, it's actually a character avatar that you create
in the Dr. Disrespect thing. Yes, but I'm saying if you buy a NFT of Tracer or LeBron James dunking, you don't own LeBron James. You own it. You own a GIF of LeBron James
that would
going
be slavery, but yes.
Yeah, like you own this GIF of LeBron James going.
Yeah,
like
owning a GIF and owning an avatar are the same thing. Theoretically, you could take your avatar if they somehow had like other games that were part of the universe or whatever, and take them into those different games. Like that game studio also creates an MMO, and then you can take your character from that and put it in the MMO sort of thing. But that's like what the metaverse is working towards, or they want it to be.
They're not working towards that. They want you to think they're working towards that, but they're all secretly sitting there going, yeah, we're gonna work together. Give me as much money as possible. And then the other one goes, yeah, we're gonna do that too. And they're literally just in their walled gardens telling everyone else to go fuck themselves. Oh yeah, we're totally gonna work together. Yeah, no problem. Like, but every single one of them is inside their own little camp, and they're all saying they're going to do that and make that happen, and none of them are going to make that happen. They're just rubing people out of their fucking money. It's not a thing that's actually going to happen anytime soon. If
Russia, say it was going to happen anytime soon,
right? But I don't think it's ever going to happen. I'll be honest.
That's a very real possibility.
Okay, let's talk about current events and date this episode anymore than it's already been dated. It's a podcast, whatever, they come out every week, you'll get over it. But it's not exactly like we're doing like a storytell one where it's like on December 32nd, 1942. It's a game news podcast. We talk about games and current events. It's fine. But the stuff in Ukraine and Russia, like everybody's shutting down stuff from happening in Russia, right? And so like they're like, well, McDonald's is pulling out of Russia, and so Coke is probably, I think, still doing that, and like other places are like pulling out, whatever, right? So people are pulling out. So what? Russia passed a thing, their oligarchs passed a thing that says, if McDonald's isn't going to be in Russia, then we're going to make a business called McDonald's, and it's going to use their buildings and do the exact same shit and infringe on their copyright because we don't trust them, because they are considered enemies of Russia and they're unfriendly to Russia. Therefore, we don't have to respect their copyright. So then now they're just making those restaurants into McDonald's, but it's like Russia. Yeah. So eventually, if we get to the
state, which is weird.
So eventually, if we get to a point where enough of that happens to where eventually copyright just doesn't mean anything, then that might make it more possible. Like if we get to I think the only way the metaverse is going to work the way people are saying is if it ends up being a Ready Player One thing where everything is fucking obliterated and ruined and everyone is living in shacks and the only thing we have to escape into is this digital scape where we have all cobbled together avatars from past IP stuff and put them in this universe to play as. That is the only way that I think that's ever going to work is in a post-apocalypse. I do not think that as long as there are rules that anyone will ever be able to have all this shit working together. There is no way that you're going to have Dante from Devil May Cry walking into a Mario Kart, getting in a car and driving around. Now there might be a game with a Mario Kart game with Dante in it at some point, but it's not going to be that model from that game that you put in there because you owned it and then you took it to that thing and then you took it into Monster Hunter and you used it and then you took it over here to Cooking Mama and then you got scammed out of some fucking like crypto mining because apparently that was like a thing with the last Cooking Mama game. Yes, remember that was a thing? And then you're like, I'm gonna go over and play Assassin's Creed. You're still Dante though, and then you're still going over here. You're doing the whole thing. Like, that's never gonna happen while rules exist. It's never gonna happen because there's too much red tape and everyone wants their fucking money. Because the guy who has created Dante is gonna want money for the avatar. The people who own Dante, Capcom, are gonna want that. The team that made the Devil May Cry games are gonna want their money, and then the people whose game you're taking it into are gonna want money for transferring the character over there. So if you go into Mario Kart, Nintendo's like, we're gonna charge a licensing fee for bringing Dante over. And then if you take him back out of it, they're going to charge you for a transfer again because this shit's not going to be free. So it's never going to work. Do you see why everyone is nickel and dime, pennies and pennies? Like, it's going to be the most expensive bullshit thing ever. If you think microtransactions now are bad, it's going to get way worse if that shit takes off, which is why absolutely. It should never take off.
Where it's like, basically what they want it to be is you can buy all those things from all those people, but you can take it into a centralized universe and use it. You're still giving everyone their licensing fees and all that type of stuff by buying it from those people, but they want a place where you can use all of it that isn't, it's basically cross play to the power of 10 is what they want.
Right.
Again, to be honest, we can't even get all the game companies to work together to let us play with people on other consoles most of the time. So I definitely don't see it in the near future.
Until crossplay is unanimously across the board for everything.
Yeah, that's like step one.
Yeah, people should not even. That's below the foundation. That is literally leveling the ground before you build a foundation. That is not even the foundation step of this. So until we get to that point, no one should ever be like, I'm gonna play as Garfield in this game. Like, if you want that, go play Tower Unite.
Garfield. People,
because I just picked one of the most copyright induced characters ever. Like, he's one of the most popular characters ever, and like they are very legal. Like they will license him to you if you're anybody, but they will get their fucking money.
It's true, and they will sue you if you don't.
Correct. So that's the thing.
Not gonna Calvin and Hobbes it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that is, like I said, that's below the foundation. If you're wanting a game where you can play as anybody, just go play Tower Unite. You can go rip a model to Steam and go play as that model. If you want to be running around in a casino as Soundwave, do that while you're dabbing next to Hulk Hogan. Like, there's so crazy stuff. Tower Unite's a cool game. We might need to show it off at some point because of how crazy it is. It's awesome. But it's awesome because it's like has user supported content where you can just rip these avatars, and you can do dumb stuff. That because of that is why it's so fun.
VR chat was like that for a long time.
I think VR chat probably still is that, but I think everybody is. I think everybody is
public eye as it used to be.
I think everybody is now trying to be a VTuber, so they're all playing their own avatars. They're like, I spent $4,000 on this, and now and instead of their voice sounding like this, because this is what they normally sound like, they're like, and I'm now a VTuber, and I feel like this, and I have boobs out here. And you're like, I don't like that. I mean, I like it, but I don't like it.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure people would rather see me as an anime chick with boobs out to here than this face.
Thinking about it. Nah, I think it would kill it for me if a woman had your voice.
Sure.
It's not fuck up perfection. You're joking. Yeah.
I'd have to work on the voice thing. That'd probably be step 2. is finding my feminine voice.
Yes. So the thing that kills me about that stuff is talking about, this is not what we were planning on talking about, but this is where we're going today. Apparently, we're in this lane.
I don't think we're gonna have time for it today.
I don't think we are. We're just gonna talk about this. This is gonna be the discussion. Yeah. We may get back to the other one next week, and that's fine. We'll just leave it. It'll be a surprise because we may not, because we didn't get into this week. But they were talking about having walled gardens, right? Like, oh, we're gonna have this thing it's secure. It's secure. If you're in our own thing, it's secure. You can't have the content because someone owns this NFT, so they can have the content. That's what fucking microtransactions are for. If you buy a helmet in a microtransaction, you can't take it to another game. You can't take it to another console.
No, but that's the future. That's NFT is future proofing.
Motherfucker.
Obviously.
If you buy a Fortnite skin, that Fortnite skin stays in Fortnite, right? And you can use that skin on any Fortnite thing. Your V-Bucks, unless they've changed something, do not carry over. Your V-Bucks will stay on whatever console you bought them on. Like, if you're on Xbox and you buy V-Bucks, they're staying there. And if you go play on PlayStation, unless they've changed something, I don't think you get your V-Bucks over there. Like, they're still on the Xbox. So you might log into another console after a while and go, I have 1,000 V-Bucks, what the fuck? And then you buy something.
It may be like it's connected to your Epic Games thing now instead of necessarily.
It might be, but the reason they do that is because every console wants their money.
Yeah.
It's because when you buy V-Bucks on Xbox, Xbox wants their money. And so then PlayStation doesn't want you to buy your and this is genuinely why. PlayStation doesn't want you to buy all your V-Bucks on Xbox to give them a cut and then spend them on PlayStation. So that's why when you buy V-Bucks on Xbox, they would stay there, and then when you log on PlayStation, you have to buy V-Bucks there, so your V-Bucks don't transfer.
Well, it's just like what was I going to say? Shit.
Either way, Dr. Disrespect just seems to be just knocking it out of the park when it comes to terrible ideas, but his name says so for that. It's fine.
He's disrespecting your money.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the name. I don't know what you expected, really.
Yeah, but I know there's going to be so many people that are like super excited about their NFT avatar people.
The only people who are excited about it are the people who are drinking the Kool-Aid. That's the problem. There's
a lot of people out there who are drinking the Kool-Aid.
Exactly, and that's what's the problem. There was literally a thing, and it made me want to scream. Oh my God, my nose is itching. Sorry, I just wanted to do that for flourish. There was a thing. Snoop Dogg was releasing. I think we talked about it. Snoop Dogg was releasing the NFTs, the 1 minute mental health NFTs, the guided meditation for a minute for $450. And people, the NFT bros, were in the comments of that going, yeah, bro, mental health is super important, bro. You gotta do it, man. It's gonna be great. You gotta do it. You're like, thank you for looking out for the little man, thinking about people's health. I'm like, motherfucker, you are not thinking about people's health for $450. If you're thinking about it, you're releasing it for free on YouTube. Then you're getting, and then supporting it with ad revenue. That's supporting it, or getting a thing where you're like, today is brought to you by Squarespace, and then you're like, all right, here you go, to give you the spiel about Squarespace, and then you're like, all right, great, here comes today's video, and then you do your meditation, and you're supporting it through sponsorships and stuff like that. But literally being like, it's a minute long, $450. If you have mental health issues, it's probably because you're not in a good place because of some reason. Most likely because of economic or socio situations. Guess what? If you have those problems, you probably don't have $450 to blow out of your ass on a 1 minute MP3.
That's debatable. Because money does buy happiness. This thing everyone says it makes easier to deal with the issues.
It doesn't buy happiness, but it buys functionality in society. If you can't afford to fucking eat or pay your bills, you're probably not buying fucking $450 NFTs.
You'd be surprised. But I'm just playing devil's advocate here, as I have been for this entire conversation.
Because you also fucking hate NFTs. I get it.
I'm not a fan, but I always try to see things from every perspective.
Me too. Poor people are getting rich by fucking over other poor people. I get it. Continue.
But as far as the Snoop Dogg thing, the fact that they're 1 minute is one thing. I mean, some people pay $450 for a therapist, so you could say that if you're really that serious about mental health, you shouldn't have to spend money. That's not necessarily the case. And also, I don't like the Snoop Dogg thing because it's like supposedly meditation thing that helps your mental health. That's one of the lowest blows that you can do, is to be like, hey, this will help with your happiness, just give me money for it.
Yeah, that's shitty.
But that's a marketing strategy that a ton of different companies use.
Vagina candles and vagina jade eggs and
but with NFTs, I am constantly trying to see where they're coming from. There's a lot of negative stuff that comes with it. But as far as like, to say every place has to start somewhere, and I get it. Like, I would love to see that future come to fruition where we're all doing our own Ready Player One type giant universe where I can, climb a mountain with Batman, or I can take my, as you would put, Dante skin, like get in a DeLorean and go in a race with it.
That's called Fortnite. Fortnite is the closest thing we have to that because they have the creative mode and people are making all of that stuff. They have the vehicles, they have all the stuff.
Sure. I would love for that to be a thing. I would love to be like, hey, I got my my Final Fantasy character and I took him into Monster Hunter, which again, crossovers are a thing, and it's kind of like, little baby version of that.
Yes. But it's a marketing stunt more than anything. They're not just like, hey, we want to put him in here because it's good for the story. Geralt didn't get put in there because it's good for the story. The story was interesting in Monster Hunter World when he was in there. It was very interesting, and that monster was a fucking nightmare to fight. But it
was because a Netflix series was coming out.
Yes, correct.
But I get where they're trying to get people to push people to accept this thing and do this thing, but like, oh yeah, it gives people a way to own their own IP and stuff like that, which isn't necessarily true because there's been a constant thing of people, clicking and saving it and posting it or all that type of stuff. So it's not a perfect system, and I think that in its current state, it does more harm than good to most people, and as they have put out, like in certain situations, the environment. But I to try to look at an optimistic light, I would love for it to be less destructive, less preyed upon, or less predatory, and to be able to like have the universe that everyone dreams, or everyone likes to talk about what they want. But really, and a lot of times, it's just so other people can literally just trick you out of money. And with Dr. Disrespect, that could definitely be a thing, because if their game doesn't do well and they shut it down, your NFT goes away. As that is just how it goes. Because if you have nowhere else to put that thing, it's useless.
So the way that all of those NFTs work, that people are buying these dumb JPEGs, is that they're on image hosting sites, right? They're being hosted somewhere. If the hosting site for that goes down, it doesn't matter if it's estimated at being worth 3 million. The only people who will have that after that site goes down are the people who right-clicked it. So you may hold the deed to the item and someone else might have right-clicked it, but if the hosting for that goes down, you don't have the thing you paid for anymore, and the only people who do actually have it are the people who have saved it to their files.
Yeah, to be honest, what this really reminds me of is it's just a more convoluted, complicated version of original OC Do Not Steal.
Yes.
Like at this point, it's just the people who put watermarks in the corner of their art so you can't steal it.
Yeah. Even though, like, they don't think you.
And if it's something you made, you obviously,
right.
Yeah. But if it's something you made, obviously, you deserve credit for that thing.
Yes, I do think that people should watermark art if you're trying to have it supported in places. But I also think that, like, you should also have it be available because it's fucking art. It just depends. Like, it
depends on what they're using it for. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if you are a sex worker and you are selling pictures of your bips and baps, and you want to put your watermark on there so people can't steal your shit, you want to put it on your thigh or something so everybody knows what your @ is, so you can't just be like, hi, this is me, and it's like, no, I see what their @ is right there. It is going to be so difficult for them to try to Photoshop that out of the image that it's not going to be worth it. So a lot of people
real weird.
Yes, correct. So I understand why you would do that. You're like, hey, you want to see more? Or if you're like, you're blurring out your nipples and going uncensored on my OnlyFans or on my Fansly or whatever all those things are. Like, I get why you would do that. I understand completely. Your business is your body, and business is good. I absolutely understand that. Sex work is work. NFTs are a scam, and that's where I fucking stand on it.
I think, yeah, in especially in its current form, there's so many scams that have come out recently where it's just like, yeah, this person took all this money and then went, keeping it. And everyone's like, but you promised us this. And they're like, yeah, but your promises can eat my dick.
Yes.
And then
they're like,
people do that with no shame.
It really sucks, but I'm still keeping the money. Yeah, like you made me a multimillionaire. Thanks. Yeah. Or like that squid coin, whatever it was, where everybody bought this thing, it jumped up within 24 hours. They were told they couldn't sell it for a certain amount of time because of the way it was sold.
Yeah.
And then they just ripped the rug and left. Stole it. Yeah, they ripped the rug and left. But
I could definitely see, and I hope it's not. I hope Dr. Disrespect is super on the up and up with it, and they do everything they can. But this really could be just them trying to sell this amount of stuff and then go, well, the game didn't work.
Yes. That could very well be the case. Personal ideas about personal opinions aside, it just makes me go ugh, like the whole thing, because it's like it. Star Citizen almost feels like that. Star Citizen almost feels like NFTs. Like, I'm surprised Star Citizen is not into NFTs, because they're literally like selling plots of land in a game. It's in its own closed garden.
Final Fantasy does that too.
Yes, but here's the thing about Final Fantasy is that, like, but I'm saying, like, so in Final Fantasy, you don't have to spend real money for your armor. You don't have to spend real money for your gear. You don't have to spend, you're not spending real money for the land in the game. You spend in-game currency. You spend a gil. Star Citizen, you buy a plot of land with actual goddamn money. You buy your ships with actual fucking money. You buy all your stuff with actual fucking money. And then
that stuff's hard for me, because it's like, if in-game currency, it's fine. But when it comes to like spending my real money, you got to recognize that's a game and it can go away at any point.
Yeah, this game is not out yet. It's in like some like testing base that it's been in for like 1,000,000 years, but they're selling ships for like $5,000 or more for like a ship, real money. And it's like, you want this badass ship? So then if I get a starter ship, assuming there is one that's not $1 million, then like someone who bought the $5,000 Gorilla Grinder boat is going to drive up and murder you. And you're like, cool, great, wonderful.
Well, it's also one of those things, like with NFTs and stuff, it could go back to make myself sound 1,000,000 years old, but back when Diablo 3 released and they had the real money auction house. That could be a thing for people again.
It could. I would prefer that. That is what NFTs are. They are the real money auction house of JPEGs. And guess what? It ain't working. It didn't work then, and it ain't working now.
Yeah, I don't. If they're creating a game and it's his product and whatever, he can do what he wants. It's his game studio. Whatever.
Correct. We don't have to like it, and we don't have to support it.
I want everyone out there who's listening, don't support this. This is not something we want people to see and go, oh, well, this works.
It should not be normalized. It should not be normalized.
If it becomes normalized, it's going to be like, I mean, a lot of people want to complain about microtransactions. It'll get much worse. It will get so much worse.
I don't remember who said it. I don't remember who said it first, but it was either I don't remember if it was Total Biscuit or if it was James Stephanie Sterling, but they said that they do not want money. They want all of the money.
Yeah.
Once Pandora's box is open, they do not close that revenue off. Like, once they were selling games for full prices and they started doing microtransactions and horse armor and stuff, they did horse armor and stuff. Then they started doing season passes because they said, well, games are getting expensive. We got to support them. So they were selling the games. Then they were selling the games and microtransactions.
Where they locked off the multiplayer.
They were selling horse armor before they were selling online passes. Then they started selling, to try to combat used games, they started forcing the $10 online pass. Then they started doing the $20 season pass, where they don't release a full game at launch and then they support it over a year and you pay $20 extra to get that content, while still releasing all the other things. The only thing that went away was the online pass, because they realized it was fucking them over, because no one wanted to play their fucking online modes that they were trying to force. Remember when Dead Space 2 had an online mode that had a pass behind it? No one fucking played it, even though it was very, very cool.
I played it a bunch.
I played it, but I'm saying nobody did, because how the fuck would you do that? That was a terrible idea. You have to think of the cons and pros versus health of the community of your game, of players and player base and stuff, versus this. Like if you get someone,
and they were like, we want the money. That's
right,
what we
correct. So that's the thing. So then you have the game for full price. Microtransactions still a thing. Online passes went away because the market spoke and said terrible fucking idea. The season passes are still a thing, and it's getting to the point now where, like, especially with like Ubisoft games, it's like full price game and some skins, full price game and some skins with the DLC, full price game with some skins, DLC, and some other thing, and then they're trying to sell boosters as microtransactions. It's like you can level up faster, so you play the game less that you spend all this goddamn money on. It's like, what's the point of that?
In Odyssey's case, they actually lessened the amount of XP. Basically, if you bought the booster, it was like the regular amount of XP you should have been getting to actually be able to level through the story and not have to do a bunch of side shit.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
But now, if you're adding all those things with NFTs, it's another stream. They're not going to close off the other ones. They're just going to add another one because they just want all the money. Like, go ahead. Sorry, I'm just trying to finish my thought.
Yeah. With microtransactions, it's one of those things, like, it's become normalized. We're all okay with it. When it first came out, we didn't really, as the game community as a whole, didn't necessarily fight it too much because at the time it was a lot of cool shit that we wanted.
No, the whole world rebelled over horse armor. Horse armor.
Yes, but I'm sorry, when other games started doing it and that sort of thing.
It was normalized because horse armor was like there, and then people started giving different examples. But like, there are some really shitty microtransactions.
People came out hard against it.
Yeah,
like, I should not have to pay real money for this, so on and so forth. But now it's like, for me, season passes are getting ridiculous because there are games that should not need a season pass.
I agree.
Not every game needs a fucking season pass.
I agree. But also the fact that, like, the season passes are getting way more expensive. Like I said, Ubisoft games come out with a $60 version. So now another thing they're adding as a revenue option. I just was thinking about this. So it used to be full price game for $60, season pass, microtransaction, online thing, then whatever, right? Season pass. Now it's like the season of content, the battle pass of the whatever for $10. Like, they're doing those things now. Now they're doing past gen version of game $60. Past gen version of game $60. Current gen version $70. Both versions for $80. Yeah. You want the past gen version you're never going to play again? You should pay us $10 so you can get access to it. Are you currently on a past gen but want to play it on the new gen once you finally can hunt down one of those goddamn consoles? Pay us $20 extra and you'll get both versions. Right. So you can play the other version when it comes out, but you'll probably already be done with the game you played on the past gen. You won't ever touch it again. But do it anyway because we want you to do that. So
and now imagine, if you will, a game going, hey, do you want a character that's all your own? All you got to do is give us $100 extra and you get your own avatar that's yours and you paid for it, so you own it. Or you get it wouldn't even have to be that. It would be like the Call of Duty fucking avatars or the backgrounds, right? And you get it as an NFT.
Yeah,
that's probably the shit they'd start with.
But here's the thing: you're giving false scarcity to a thing that is literally anti-false scarcity. Digital content means you can have as many copies of it as you need, so you're literally numbering. That's why
you don't get the money if you don't get the false scarcity.
But that's why the example of the Ubisoft NFTs were such a good example of how not to do it. They put it was a blank metal helmet that just went over your head, and it had a number etched in that was this big, and you had to literally look at it with a sniper rifle to see the fucking number. But it's like, I'm wearing the helmet. Yeah. Yes, you are number 596100002. Yeah, good job,
and that's
buddy.
The thing. It's like we constantly have to come out like loudly against it, so they'll go, okay, we won't. Because
the moment that you murmur about it, they're going to be like, I guess these guys aren't that mad about it.
Because what was it? Didn't Konami say they were going to do NFTs?
Oh, they've been doing like Castlevania NFTs. Like they're like selling like MP3s of like really good music, and it makes me want to scream. But also Konami is just in a bad place. They're like doing not good stuff.
Pachinko machines.
Yeah, well, no, not as much because COVID. So like they've actually tried to get back into selling NFTs and like game stuff because COVID is fucking up the pachinko parlors, because it's like, well, you can't have 100 people smoking in a room while it's so blindingly and deafeningly loud and bright that you can't do anything because they're all gonna give each other COVID and die.
But yeah, it's one of those things like of anything that I will fight to the death about is to not let that in my shit. I don't want NFTs. I don't care what people want to talk about, how it's, whatever.
Fuck it. I'm not a fan.
It is just, they want your money. They want all of your money.
The thing with
all of it.
Yes, they don't want money. They want all money.
Yeah, they don't care if you actually enjoy the thing that you get. They don't care if it's actually something that other people can steal. And if it's a JPEG, they can. I don't care what anyone's. You own the license. Great. Do you know how many people use things that are licensed anyway?
Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true. That is true without a doubt. But the thing to me is that branding is so important. And so someone who's named Dr. Disrespect doing something like this, it almost gets a pass from certain people because the name exudes such scummy energy.
Well, it's also because a lot of his community, they're going to support him no matter what decisions he's making.
Yes, it's true, which is bad. Like, I don't think the cult mentality of the Silicone God era is a good thing. I think if someone does something bad, you should call them out for it. I do not think that, but here's the thing. I don't think you should try to obliterate somebody from orbit to where they don't have a pedestal anymore. I think you should allow people to be human and allow them to grow and be sorry for things they've done. Like, well, yeah, okay, yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you say something stupid because you don't know any better, or you say something because you're being ignorant or racist at a point in time, then people should allow you to become not racist. But if you continue to be racist, then they should be real bad about that. Like, you should definitely knock the wind out of somebody whenever they're doing stupid shit. But if they learn, then you should be like, okay, you're not going to be as big as you were because obviously you hurt a lot of fucking people because you were a garbage person at that point in time. But if you come back out and you've learned and actually changed and you've actually grown, then cool, we can support you again. But if you don't, then don't expect people to support you because you're a garbage person.
Yeah, but
I think that growth as a person and being forgiven is actually a thing that should happen, and that we shouldn't just run to Twitter. I mean, we should run to Twitter and call out shit. We should not run to Twitter and try to kill people. That's terrible. Yeah. You should not try to just like obliterate people. That's not a thing.
Yeah. But to put a cap on it, NFTs could be viable sometime in the future. They're not right now. It really is.
They could be cool.
It's basically the stock market in the 80s right now.
Yes.
Where everyone is out to scam you and everyone just wants all the money in the world.
Yes.
So, if you see it going that way, just do what you can. Don't let it just happen. We have I think as a community we have, and really as a society we have gone the path of least resistance for long enough, and there's got to be some things that we kind of just need to stand up and say, yeah, we're not doing that.
Yes. I realize that in the grand scheme of things in the world today, it feels really odd to say, hey, stand up to late stage capitalism and tell them to go fuck themselves, when there are people, and people won't do that, when that is like a thing where you can just say that and it's done, and you say that and you speaking with your wallet as one person is not enough. Speaking with a wallet as a bunch of people is enough. But if you're the only person who thinks that way, it's not going to happen. But the thing is, there are people in other countries right now that are saying no to things they do not approve of that could possibly get them killed. And so they're still doing that because it's the right thing to do. If we can't do that for late stage capitalism when it's the right thing to do and the risks are way less deadly for us, something's fucking wrong.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
That war needs to fucking stop. And we all need to actually
It got really real at the end here.
Yeah, it did. But you know what? It's the real world we live in. It's not I'm out here in the fucking nebula, but I'm drinking it all in. It's a fucking savage ass place, man. The world is rough, but like, if we got to get a fork and eat the rich, man, they fucking suck. It's terrible right now. It's not good. The only good thing... Okay, here's the thing. We're going to get real for a second because we're already in the realness. We're going to get real, okay? We can't get our government to agree on anything except daylight savings time sucks. They have not passed a goddamn thing in years that everybody has agreed on. We cannot get them to agree because some people still think that someone else is president. They don't actually think that, but they know their voters think they think that. They also are saying the vaccine is bad, though they're all vaccinated. It's fucking stupid. This whole thing is dumb, and all of them should be fired. But the fact that out of all these things, we're not like, oh, we should all agree that children in school should be fed for lunch. It should just be free to feed kids lunch. We should take some money from these missiles and put that in a fucking fund to feed kids lunch so that no kid is having to go hungry. We should do that, but we don't because we like bombs in America.
We also shouldn't care about their sexuality in school.
Correct. We also should not be going...
We should be passing laws that you can't tell a teacher if you're gay or not.
Yes, that's really stupid as well. And we can't get people to agree on that either. We can't get people to agree on kids being the future generation. We can't get people to agree that they should be more open-minded because some people think they should be more closed-minded. We can't get people to agree that kids should eat. That's fucking insane. It is a basic human thing that we need to survive, and we can't get people to agree on it. But the one thing that passes through Congress unanimously in the first, 15 goddamn years... Daylight savings time. And it may still not pass because someone might have a fucking grudge against somebody else. Everybody thinks daylight savings time sucks, and so do I. Pick a lane. Either I have darkness in the day half the year or darkness at night half the year. I don't care. Just pick one. But we need to fucking feed these kids. We need to support schools. Teachers should be making more than fucking CEOs because teachers are actually teaching kids, and they're not making enough to where either the few passionate ones get fucking run off or they just drag their feet because they realize it's an ass-end job and they've ruined and wasted hours and years and money trying to fucking teach people because they were passionate about it and they got burnout. The same thing that happens in education is the same thing that happens in retail. These fucking... these corporations do not give a fuck about you. They take you, they grind you into the machine, they train you, they say, oh, we'll teach you to be a better manager, and then they wring every ounce of anything they have out of you, and then they fucking throw you away because they say, I literally used to work in a factory. You know what they told me every day whenever we had a fucking meeting before we started our fucking thing? I was a temp worker. I was not actually hired on at the plant, but every day they told me, you are replaceable. If you do not show up for work, there are over 300 people waiting at the temp office who will take your position. Do you know how that helps morale when you already know that you're standing next to a guy doing the exact same job, but because he works for the plant, he makes $21 an hour and you're making $9.50 an hour, and that's your capped out pay, and you'll never get another raise until you get hired onto the plant, but you know you're not gonna get hired onto the plant because they don't fucking do that because they don't want to pay you that much? That's why they do temp work in the whole first place? It's fucking bad. It's terrible. It's fucking garbage. Pay people what they're worth and feed these damn kids.
Yeah.
And don't fucking support NFTs.
If there's anything you should stand up for in the 10-minute monologue we just had, it should definitely be the NFTs is the lowest risk thing for you to stand up for at this point. If we can't stand up for that, then I guess we should just give it all up.
Apparently. Don't do that. Do not support these damn stupid ass monkey people. The stupid monkey club dudes with their dumb JPEGs. So stupid. Makes me so mad. They're like, bruh, I got a mutant potion or some shit for 5K. It's on sale, bro. And then they use that one and it turns their JPEG into another randomly generated monkey JPEG. And it's fucking stupid too. The mutant ones are more rare than the normal ones because you put a potion in them, but they look way fucking stupider.
But it's the scarcity that matters, not the art.
Ugh, that's not art. It's not art. If a fucking robot makes it, it's not art.
That's debatable, but that's for another time.
It's not debatable. You do not have copyright. They've already passed laws about it. You do not have copyright on art that you do not make as a human. If a human does not make art, it is not copyrightable. They've already talked about this recently because someone tried to fucking start selling fucking random artwork and say, I have copyright on this. And they were like, no, you fucking don't. A robot made it. You might make the robot and you can say the robot is art and it is making art, but that art that the robot makes, you do not own. Because the robot made it, and you can go fuck yourself. And if you're making NFTs, you can also go fuck yourself. Feed the damn kids.
That's where you put your NFT money. Go feed your kids.
Yes, go feed kids. If you want to fucking take NFTs and blow them out of your ass, go to fucking get a hold of the school or something, or start a fucking fund to feed some kids lunch. You will actually be doing the world a fucking favor. Go support the fucking Boys and Girls Club or aftercare, like these things where parents can't pick their kids up. Go support those things that take care of kids after school while the parents are still working. Go do something that's actually going to make a fucking difference. Don't invest in a goddamn monkey JPEG. I cannot fucking stress this enough.
Or a doodle, or whatever they're doing now, pigs and cats and aliens.
I'll talk about this for hours. We're gonna end this, but I stand where I stand. I'm on my soapbox. Feed the damn kids, take care of people, eat the rich, fuck it, and get rid of daylight savings time. Do not buy NFTs. I love all of you. We are still standing. All of us. Yeah. I'm glad we're all here. This got real, but it needed to get real, apparently. I'm sweating. Yeah, I'm pouring sweat. Ooh, I'm pouring sweat right now. I love all of you. If you're watching this, I genuinely love you. I don't hate Dr. Disrespect.
If you made it this far. Comment Mutant Monkey. I want to know.
Mutant Monkey, sure, yeah. Comment in the comments below if you made it this far. Mutant Monkey, please. But yeah, I don't hate Dr. Disrespect. I just think that's a terrible. What he's doing. Yes, I hate what he's doing. I think he has a terrible reputation for making terrible plays. But that's that we can't end yet because now we have to talk about this. No, we have to talk about this. The meta for Twitch and content streamers is that you now break a rule, get banned temporarily because they know they make so much money off of you. Yeah. It is an unfair advantage that people with large followings have because these streaming platforms, they know that they have them by the balls because Amazon with Twitch is making money off these creators. YouTube is making money off these creators that some of them are getting these contracts for, and they're buying exclusive rights to them. Or whatever it may be. And then these people are infringing on the rules knowing they're going to get a slap on the wrist and they're going to come back in a week and they're going to make so much money because breaking the rules will get them banned. They get a week off work, paid vacation, and then the news talks about them. The news is free promo. It's building up. Yeah. And then they come back and they're bigger than ever because now more people are seeing them. And so then the people who were not there to simp for them while they were gone are now coming back and going, here's the money I couldn't pay you while you were gone. And then they see them pay and new people are coming in. They're like, holy shit, these people are giving them money. I should give them money too. And it's like, no, you should go feed the damn kids or give me money. This is a job. We do a lot of work. I'd like some donations. That'd be fucking wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm not saying you shouldn't donate. You should absolutely help support content creators you like. But the content creators should be held to the same rules. Is the whole point of that. You should absolutely support people. If you like,
they shouldn't be rewarded for watching Hell's Kitchen on their stream.
Yes, if you like a content creator, you should do what you can to support them. If you like somebody doing something, that's great, but they should be held to the same rules as all of them. If I have 3 subs and I get banned, I'm going off the platform forever. They're going to literally go, good night, sweet prince. Boom, I'm gone. But if you're like somebody large that I won't name that did some dumb shit, you get to get a week's paid vacation and you come back and they just give you all your money and you get more money than ever. That meta is dumb.
All the gas stations.
Oh, God, I hate it so much. It makes me so mad. If you want to sell farts in a jar, that's fine, but don't infringe on rules because you know you can get away with it. I fucking hate that. It makes me so mad. Oh, I love all of you. We are still standing. This is a podcast. I'm on the soapbox. I need to go cool down. I'm going to take a cold shower after this.
This has been fun.
I love all of you.
I feel like I've also been watching this podcast for
we've really started hitting our stride. We're coming out of the shell, starting to get some opinions going. Not really feel, the edge is coming on. It's like, the streamer rust is coming off me. I'm a little more vocal, whatever. But like the thing is like you are getting more used to being on camera. I know we're talking about this is probably some kayfabe we're breaking right now, but I don't care. It's fine. You're getting more in the feel, and it's great. And I'm seeing it, and they're probably seeing it too, and it's great. Camera's looking a little better, looking good, Joe. Hey, love it. But I love you too. Thank you for watching this. We got videos coming out Monday through Friday. My name is DeadAction Jones.
All that you do, and we hope that you enjoy our content.
Yes, my name is DeadAction Jones. I am joined by Joe Zombie. Yes, you can catch me on Twitter. Catch me here. I think that's about it for what I've got for you today. I love your face, and I'm glad that you're still standing.